Just after 9 o'clock, and I have some guests that are in studio. They are with the Anchor Point organization that's based out of our area. If you're watching on social media, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to share this out. Let us know what you got going on today. I'm going to kick this on the FM, and we're going to have some fun. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio. My name is Gardy. It's Kickstart, and I have some guests that are in studio. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to find out everything that they have going on.
Hi, I am Debbie Simmons, and I am the CEO of Anchor Point, and it is certainly an honor and a privilege to be here with you guys today.
Yeah, and I'm Stephanie Clausen. I'm the Chief Development Officer at Anchor Point, and just like Debbie said, I'm really glad to be here this morning.
So first things first, I want to talk about an event, and then we'll dive back into it, and I want to learn all about Anchor Point. So there's an event coming up in October. What is it, and what is it benefiting?
We'll let Stephanie answer that. She kind of takes the road on that.
Yes, so we are excited. We have our annual Celebrating Hope Gala that's coming up on October 13th, and it's going to be at the Francis Ann Moody Ballroom at Moody Gardens. We have a wonderful theme this year, so it's the Roaring 20s, and we have a gala planning committee team that is just taking off with making that night wonderful, engaging, informative and educational for people who are coming. And so if you're a business owner or if you're an individual or if you're a church and you want to be a part of it, we have wonderful sponsorship opportunities for you to come, be a part of it, bring your colleagues, your family, your friends. I think it's just going to be a really lovely evening. We also have a fantastic guest speaker that's coming in, Dr. Ron Archer. And if you haven't ever known him or seen him or want to know his testimony, it is just a breathtaking testimony of God's restoration in a life of not only him, but of his mom and his family. So we're excited to have him come in. And so I think that whole evening is just going to be fun, engaging, but I think it's also going to be just I don't know, heart-touching, or, I think it's going to make people realize kind of the foundation and the heart of Anchor Point and why we brought him in and why we do what we do. And so, find us. I know, Gardy, you're going to put up our information on how they can find us online on anchorpoint.us and just get to know us a little bit more. And I know Debbie's going to fill you in a little bit more on who or why Anchor Point does what we do, but that Celebrating Hope event is just really important. And that's our biggest event for the year. And that's where we see a lot of people just fall in love with Anchor Point.
I think, Gardy, the most important thing is it is a celebration of all that God has done in and through Anchor Point over this year. And it is just cool to be able to come together, celebrate that, and to look for it with great expectation as to what he is going to continue to do and make an impact with that through Anchor Point.
Whenever you go into an event, what kind of expectations do you have for things like this?
Well, my biggest expectation is I just want to love on those people who love us and celebrate the goodness of God and the opportunity that he is going to give us to take even more land and make a difference for him and an impact. That's the biggest thing for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We talked briefly yesterday, and there's a house, and there's some, I guess, dreams and land and stuff that y'all need and want. But what did y'all recently do?
Oh, recently, in January, we opened our newest addition, which was our Hope House, which is a maternity home, which is a transition. It's an 18-month transitional program for these young ladies who are pregnant, who don't have a place to live, and it is a great way for them to be in a safe environment and to be loved, and for us to be the hands and feet of Jesus and to just encourage them and ultimately to help them get back on their feet, learn how to take care of themselves educationally, spiritually, mentally, physically, whatever it is required, so that in 18 months we can help them transition to success on their own and be able to take care of themselves and the baby that God has given them.
If somebody hasn't heard of Anchor Point before, what's the overall vision that y'all have? And I guess, when did y'all start, and how long have y'all been around doing this?
Oh, that's a great question. We're 11 years old, and our heartbeat is to help families thrive. And so we want to give them hope. We want to help them come alongside them no matter what stage their kids are in to figure out life. So like we just did our Pathway to Hope camps, and those are for kids that are really struggling. And those families, I just had one tell me about a cool breakthrough that they had this week with their kid, where the kid would usually use behaviors, and he finally used words to say, this is what I really need. And the mom was just able to sit with him and to help him maneuver his way through life. And that is what success is like, because we know that child couldn't hold a job If he was, flipping out at work, that he needs to be able to use his words. And so what does it take for this kid to be successful? And, that's what we get excited about is how can we come along with them before birth all the way through those great, wonderful teenage years onto adulthood so we can break family cycles and be a difference maker.
Stephanie, why was it important for you to get involved in an organization like Anchor Point?
That's funny. I was actually just going to say that because I think that's the part that drew me is the fact that they're not just serving one part of the community. They're serving every single aspect of a community, whether or not you're a woman who just found out that she's pregnant and perhaps you don't have resources, or maybe now you're displaced because of your pregnancy, or maybe you're struggling with homelessness. Well, now we have Hope House. And then all the way through her birth, we have a medical center that now can we provide ultrasounds to confirm pregnancy, but we do STD testing for men and women. So it goes from there to then we have Hope Family Center that after your pregnancy, we support you even through that, through resources, through community, through love, through encouragement. And then even after that, if you need some continued support, we have our Hope Counseling Center. And so it's really from before the baby's born, we have such an amazing support system for men and women. And then all the way through, I think our oldest counseling client is up in her 60s. And so that is the range of the people in the community. That was what drew me personally to it, because I thought this is really encompassing every aspect of every community that we walk into. Our communities look like from before birth up into our ages are getting older. So that's what I loved about Anchor Point.
With the word hope, Hope House, the Celebrating Hope, what does hope mean to y'all, and what does it mean to these people and clients and friends that come in?
Oh, I think that's a great question, because I think hope can mean a lot of different things. So I think when an individual comes to us, they may need hope in a diaper. They may need hope in formula, which we know is rare these days, right? They may need hope in just a hug. But ultimately for us, hope is about Jesus Christ and about getting the opportunity, because we are being the hand and feet of Jesus, to love them and to see their value and to pour into them and to give them an opportunity to know Jesus, because that's the bottom line for us. For them, it can be a whole bunch of different things, but what we want to do is draw them in and just love them to the kingdom. So,
I was going to ask you, and you say you introduce them to Jesus, but there's a lot of people that come in that may not be Christian or didn't raise up, in a household where they went to church or know anything about God, right?
Yeah. So one of the greatest things for us is that they are so overwhelmed by us being the hands and feet of Jesus and just meeting them where they are and seeing their value, that they will ask, what makes you different? And that is our privilege. When they say, what makes you different? We can come back and say, let me tell you about my Jesus, because that makes all the difference in the world. So it's just an honor to be in that space. And you're correct. We get all kinds of people from all kinds of walks, and we love them all. And we just encourage them and look for those opportunities to let them know about Jesus, because that's what ultimately matters.
Yes. So, there's a lot going on in the world and in the laws and federally. There were some changes. How does that affect Anchor Point? How does that affect y'all's clients?
Yeah, that's a great question, because, with the overturning of Roe v. Wade and that coming back down to the states, a lot of us have a lot of different opinions about that subject matter, and it's a very heated matter. But what I ultimately take away from it is, for Anchor Point, the ministry now is needed more than ever. No matter your views, you have more pregnant women, more women needing assistance, more women struggling, more guys that don't know how to be dads. And we as a community have to come alongside of that. So we actually are experiencing growth in many areas and revamping ministry to be relevant in this time. But I see us growing by about 20-30% based on statistics in our area. And I go, hey, that doesn't mean we can just sit back and wait. It means we got things to do. So we are super excited about that opportunity and look forward to just ministering alongside these people and just loving them. So,
can we talk about some of the things that y'all hope to expand into in the future?
Oh, yeah. Yes. So one of the things we really want to look at is I think with this decision changing, God has had us revamping a lot of the parts of our ministry to be more relevant in a post-Roe v. Wade world. And I see us expanding a lot of our education services and taking it more out into the community in mass, because I just think, I think you guys with 4 kids, one on the way, you should be in my Pathway to Hope camps. It would be great for you, And so I just think there's a lot of families who go, we're doing the best we can with what we know, but we didn't know. And so what can we do to educate you, empower you, and encourage you? And so I believe that will happen. And then as we are ready, our Hope House is new, and I think we need to go the first year of learning all the bumps and everything of having these girls in a residential home. But there's opportunity for us to have a second home, maybe an apartment complex for transitional living, and a day center or a daycare center to go along with that, because we just know that need is great. So that's about $10 million worth of projects that, as God opens the door for, we're
Not
going.
a big deal.
We're gonna do. But I'm like, God, you reveal the timing and prepare us to be able to do it. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What are you excited for, Stephanie? I mean, that's a lot. That's a big vision.
It is a lot, but I think that's exciting when you're walking alongside an organization that has that vision. That it's one thing to say, hey, this is where we're at now and this is who we're reaching now, but to say, okay, we're reaching them now and that's wonderful and we're just blessed to have that opportunity. But then how can we reach them in 5 years and 4 years and 3 years? And who is that demographic going to be when we reach them? And I've never lived a life of without Roe v. Wade. And so my whole life, my whole generation of people that I know only know that to be relevant in their life. And so this is really a great opportunity for Anchor Point to grow, for people to come and walk alongside. So you heard Debbie talk about all these really wonderful things. Well, we need people who see our vision, love our vision, and want to buy in for kingdom expansion. And so there's a lot of really wonderful ideas for people to get connected, stay connected, get their friends connected, because really growth is our only option at this point. Being stagnant is not an option because of where we're at, just in our country, in our state, and just community-wise. So growth, that's where we're at. I'm excited.
I know that the gala, Celebrating Hope Gala, is a great way for somebody to get involved. What are some other opportunities people have to volunteer or give towards this organization?
Oh, all sorts.
Yeah, there's a ton. It does not happen. I mean, we have a great staff, but it does not happen without volunteers. And so I would say, hey, if you had an hour, 2 hours, there's tons of things you can even do from your home that are social media related that can help us write grants and do all kind of fun things like that. And then there's people who have time that can come in and invest in 4 hours a week or a day a week, and they can do frontline ministry with the people. One super exciting way that people can get involved is they can be involved with our 911 prayer ministry. And that simply is something you sign up for online at anchorpoint.us. But what you do is you get alerts each day or every other day when there's one about a girl in crisis or a family in crisis, and you can immediately be on the front lines praying for the ministry, loving those people, and pleading before God for the life of that baby and this girl to be changed forever. And that's something we can do from our home in our recliner. And that's super impactful. And then people can come in. They can come in and work like the Pathway to Hope camps. That's, a week of your time, but it's a great, awesome opportunity. So there's all kinds of things. I encourage people to go online and just look for that volunteer section. And in there, you just hit it. And then our volunteer team is great for walking you through figuring out what's the best fit for you based on your passion, your interest, and your expertise and time that you have.
Awesome.
So,
what did the beginning of this organization look like, even before? Like, why? I guess what kind of fire was lit to start this? And I know it's not easy to start something and build it into what it is now, but what did that beginning, those early years, look like?
Oh, that's a very good question. I would say every organization that starts probably has a really cool story, but it starts with me as the founder. God really, my husband and I had children. We were pregnant with quads, and they died in our arms, and that was 27 years ago. And he began to plant seeds then for the love of children and the hope that we wanted to give families and the challenging things that we walk through. And life goes on. Adoption happens in our life. And so we have 9 adopted children. And God just taught us through that experience that there are people that have all these needs. And God wanted this done, planted the seeds, and I was just faithful to take a step and to just go, okay, because when I first started talking about it, I was like, I don't know how this is going to happen. I just really don't. And God graciously just opened doors, and people got excited about it. And then it was like, okay, we have to do it now. I've been talking about it. People think it's a great idea. How do we do it? And so we just started doing what we thought was the next right thing to minister to families and to girls in crisis and to guys, and just continued to build and add programs as we went. And so first thing, what do? You love on them, help them as they're going through a crucial decision. Then they need resources. Well, then they need education. Well, then they need this, and then they need this. And then we had the great opportunity to expand into counseling, which was wonderful, and Pathway to Hope Camp. So we've just tried to be faithful. We tried to be yes people to what God has opened the door for, and to walk through those faithfully. And it's been a great ride, and it will continue to be a great ride, and He's doing good things.
Yes. And Stephanie, I've had the opportunity to talk to you before, and to Kirk,
Yeah.
in studio, out of studio, and y'all have lived that life of ministry as well, and kind of just put one foot forward and just made things happen.
Yeah. And I think Debbie says step, but I think also it's leaps
It's a
of
jump.
just
like
it
fall.
is.
It's
It's
like,
kind of like
what am I
a
doing?
cannonball
Right.
into ministry, because I think when you say yes, when the Lord puts a call in your heart and you say yes, you're really at the mercy of just living faith out in a very raw and real way, because your yes sometimes is hard, sometimes comes with tears, it comes with sometimes anxiety, because you're just like, all right, Lord, whatever you're needing me to do in this moment, who do I need to reach, what do I need to say, how can I be there? And so the leap that Debbie took, she says step, but I'm really seeing this huge leap that she took has transformed hundreds of people's lives. And she says she knows the growth of her organization by the height of the kid that comes in, because now your first child is
he's
11. Yeah.
Up on my shoulders.
Exactly. And so for her to take that leap into starting Anchor Point has made this enormous ripple effect in our community. And so a lot of lives have been touched. And so to see that and want to be a part of that, and to say yes to the Lord of, we were in the anti-trafficking sector, which we still are. Our heart is still there, because obviously we love people, we love women. And so to come alongside Debbie and her love for women, her love for community, just mirrored very much what was in our hearts too. So it was kind of a natural, or it was a good fit for us. For my yes, it was a good fit.
It was pretty amazing. We went back and we were looking at some stats and stuff, and over 25,000 people in 10 years. That's pretty amazing.
Have come through the doors, looking for hope.
Yes, and what a privilege. And it's been hard, but it's been really good. So it's been amazing.
So is there like a service area? Is it Galveston County, Harris County, or is it, if anybody can make their way to Anchor Point, they're open to services?
If they can get to us, they can be served. So for camp, we usually have at least one family every year that comes from other parts of the state or even out of state, because they are struggling with their kids so much. And then like baby formula, we end up helping all over. During COVID, we were one of the few places that did not shut down. And so people came from all over the city. So if they can get there and we can help them, we're going to do that. A majority of them come from Harris, Brazoria, and Galveston counties, but that's not stopped us before. And matter of fact, I'm on the phone right now counseling and working with a lady that I think she's in Colorado, that's been struggling with a young girl that's pregnant, that's her daughter, and was looking to have an abortion, and just loving on her. And that daughter's turned around, made a good decision. And then they also have grandbabies that they're fostering, and they're going through a court thing. So we're getting to walk alongside of them. So that's cool. So wherever they are, we'll deal with them. So yeah.
You talk about the court stuff and families, and there's really no easy decisions. And sometimes to people, it's like, is there a right or a wrong decision? Like ultimately, I guess there is, but it's really hard in that in those situations. fostering
Yeah.
grandbabies, all that stuff. It's like there's no book. There is the Bible, but there's no step 1, 2, 3. And I know y'all do a great job of getting curriculum in people's hands, and this is a good place to start. But it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very hard. And, but I think like for this lady, I think the best thing for her to have is just a sounding board that can give her perspective that is not enmeshed in the mess of what she sits in right now, and can just love her and say, hey, have you thought of this thing? Or have you thought about talking to the attorney ad litem? Or you can get legal representation, because she's just stuck in the center of it and overwhelmed and stressed. And we just want to be a calm that can come and put her arms around her and just lift her up and be in that space with her and just remember her on her journey. And that is powerful. And she told me, I think it was yesterday, she told me, I'm completely at the end. I have nothing else to give. I'm struggling, and I just basically have no hope. And my answer was, then perfect. You're right where you need to be, because now we get to watch God step in. And Amen. She was like, thank you for giving me that perspective, because that's just what we need in life. We need people that will reach back and grab us and pull us along in our journey, while we reach back and grab people and pull them along in the journey. And that is what Anchor Point gets to do. So that's a special place.
Something else, you'll have the track record, and it's like, here, I have this person, we helped them 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they were in a similar situation as you, and there's somebody who's like, they get me, they get that situation, because you get in this space, and it's like, nobody understands what I'm going through.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, we have these people that do, and you can kind of sound off like that soundboard as well.
Yeah, and it was interesting. Yesterday, I was speaking at a church group, and one of the waitresses in the thing just kind of overheard me talking. And she was so overwhelmed. She came and pulled me aside during the lunch, and she had just left an abusive relationship. I mean, she was crying, sitting there talking to me, and she was just like, do you have anything that can help me? And I'm like, sexual abuse recovery groups. That's where you need to go. And just to hug her and say, you made a very difficult decision. I know that was hard to walk away from that. I know that you're struggling, but I still see your value, and let me connect you. And so she's going to come to the sexual abuse recovery groups, which is going to be great for her. But we all have stories, and everyone that we see is struggling with something. And so how can we be that lifeline for them?
Can we talk about some of the events that are coming up that outside of the gala, and then I want to talk about the gala more as well.
Yeah. Are you talking about like the Run for Health is coming up?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, okay, so this is a great family opportunity. The gala is not meant for family. It's generally couples that are coming. So we like to do things where families can get involved, and it is a 5K that will bless Anchor Point. But it's being, our presenting sponsor is Living Well Clinical Nutrition. So Dr. Chapa and his gang is going to be out there, and we're trying to get them all to run because it's healthy. And so the Double Dog Dare is on for Chapa to run. But it's a great way for your family to come out and just do something fun and healthy, make some great memories, and ultimately it blesses Anchor Point and it blesses our community.
Yeah. Are y'all going to be running?
I usually walk it. I usually make sure I make sure everybody gets off the course. That's my goal. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be there to support the people who are walking and
that's big
running.
too.
It
That's
is
big
big.
too.
It is big.
But we like the runners, so we want the runners.
Yeah.
So I will be on the course. My grandbabies get on the course. We all have a lot of fun out there.
I'll make sure I ask Dr. Chapa next time I see him about his time. I'm going to be like, have some goals, because he's very
goal-oriented.
The whole office is very. They can get competitive, but it's a good thing, like in a healthy way.
That's why I said on this radio show, Double Dog Dare for Chapa to run. So
now he has to.
Yeah.
Well, good. It is. It's. We're really looking forward to. We're going to have some good vendors out there. We're going to have some really good healthcare businesses out there as well. So at least if you're not going to run, which I always say, sign up, be a part of it. Get your medal, get your bib, get pictures taken, have fun. It's early in the morning and it's in November, so it's not going to be hot. It's going to be fun and engaging, but also come out and just visit people in your community. See who's out there, see who's providing services alongside Anchor Point, who's partnered with us. And it's just meant to be a lot of fun, engaging, and it's going to be a nice, hopefully cool, crisp morning. Hopefully. I mean, it's Texas, and so we might still be in fall. I don't know, November, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And so if you're listening and you want to engage in that, because we also have opportunities where, let's say you're not really a runner, but we have like an award for largest group that signed up.
That's cool.
So if you're part of a business or maybe a youth group, or if you're listening to us and you're a teacher and you have your track team at your school, then you can sign your whole entire track team up. And so there's a lot of ways that we're trying to engage the community and get people to know who we are, but not even just that, but just come and spend the morning with us. And I think that's the part we're looking forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Sounds nice to me.
Yeah.
Okay, can we talk a little bit more about the Celebrating Hope Gala?
Mm-hmm.
So when is it? I guess who's invited? And if somebody hasn't been to an event like this, what can they expect?
Well, it's going to be a big party is what it's going to be. I've already got my Roaring 20s dressed, so I'm good to go. I just got to figure out the hairstyle. But it's going to be on October 13th, and it is down at Moody Gardens Hotel. And it is going to be a celebration of all that God has done and is continuing to do in and through Anchor Point, and with expectation of what's to come. And so the time that we spend there will be all kinds of fancy things, from red carpets to taking pictures to feeling like celebrities. It's a great dinner atmosphere. Usually you buy a table. That table has between 8, 9, or 10 people at it. So it's just fun for you and your friend group to hang out together. We would say anybody that loves life and is interested in learning about the organization, that is just a great, fun way to do it. There will be who knows? They might have dancing by the time they get this done. They're planning, and every time they plan, I'm whoa, Lord.
It's getting great.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun from that standpoint. And then the speaker, and then I just like hanging out with everyone. And we miss, after COVID, having gatherings with family and friends. And this is just a great way to be with our family of Anchor Point and to celebrate. And we just don't see each other that often. Yeah. So this is a great thing to do.
How much work is it putting on an event like this?
Oh.
The bigger the team, the easier it is. So if someone loves planning parties, you need to call Stephanie, because this is the way to get involved. Yes.
Call Stephanie. Yeah.
But I mean, it obviously will have auction items and fun games that they can play and things like that. But really, our team, we probably had, 80 volunteers last year when we did it for our 10-year. And they just do a great job, and you get in your team, and it's not overwhelming if it's a bunch of us doing it together. Yeah. So I would say, hey, the more the merrier from that standpoint. So.
Absolutely, because it is. Our heart is really to just have a night of people being able to come and engage and enjoy. And so every year we have an ice sculpture. And so you can come and get your picture taken in front of that. We're going to have some really great raffle. I think the raffle items and the live auction items, I think, are even getting bigger than what we had anticipated. And so again, that's God. That's how he works, where we think one thing and he's like, no, I'm going to do something bigger. And so just to come out and get dressed up in your Roaring 20s, I believe we're going to have a best couples or best dressed couples award to give out as well. So just come out and have fun and be around people that also have the same heart of seeing the Lord just grow and expand the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Were there any other themes that were in the running? I'm always curious about this. It's settled, not settled, but it's going to be the Roaring 1920s.
Yes.
What other options were thrown out there when there was a brainstorming going on?
I don't participate in any of that. I try and stay out. Those ladies are crazy, and they're fun. But I'm like, I don't want anything. Y'all come up with some ideas and just tell me. So I can't actually answer that for you. I don't know if you know.
I can't either. I kind of came in and that decision was already landed on. I think it was landed on after last year's gala.
Yeah, they start planning the night of. For the next one.
Okay, I was wondering if someone's like, hear me out, Star Wars theme.
No, that one didn't make it.
You know, like 90s movies, you know, like 80s movies.
Oh, yeah.
Think this
Leg
through.
warmers.
Hear me.
Some of these we'll look into that.
Rejected ideas, like those are the ones that it's like, oh, that would have been bad, but so good. Like we should have next year put it on the back burner.
The ladies are like, no, Gardy, you don't get to participate at all.
Like, no, they're not in charge of those things.
You can bring your camera and you can videotape, but you cannot plan.
But stay behind the camera. Stay behind the camera.
Oh man, well I know that y'all do a lot of really good work in the community, and then like an event like this is massive to put on. There's a lot of planning, a lot of hours, and whenever it happens, it's very beautiful to see. You know, a successful event, and y'all have put on a couple that I've witnessed. And I know there's a whole track record before, but all right, it's going to be a good time, huh?
Yes, it's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
So
cool.
Come join us.
Yes.
So.
Is there anything else about the gala that we want to mention that we haven't yet?
I think the biggest thing is we will sell it out. We sold it out last year. So if you have any inkling that this is what you want to do, you need to get in now, because last year I had to turn people away, and they were like, what? And I'm like, I told you. So we did get a larger facility, which gives us the ability to have more people, which we're super excited about. But I still believe the excitement and everything around it, that those are things are just going to go. And I'm going to be telling people the same thing, which would be a great God problem to have. But I'm like, hey, don't miss it. And if you want, we have some businesses that like to sponsor. Those sponsorship levels get taken, and then they're like, well, I wanted that one. And I'm like, sorry. And so, so I don't want people to miss out. I wanted to be a part of it. It is super exciting. And we have several competitions going on with people filling their tables, seeing who can fill the most tables. And so they're just getting going. So don't miss it. Don't miss it.
I like that it's in Galveston, because there's a lot of really amazing events that take place on, not on the island, but there's something about like getting dressed up nice and then driving onto the island. It's different, especially like in the evening. It's usually like cool. It's, I don't know. It's different.
Plus, we ran out of facilities size-wise here. It was either go downtown to Houston or go to Galveston, and I think that Moody Gardens is a great place for us to expand to. So
yeah, there's a lot of really cool opportunities on the island that I feel like are untapped. Like me growing up here, whenever I do go down there, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Like, why don't I ever come down here? Because I'm always thinking like, oh, there may be this and that, or the tourist. I don't know. It's weird. Like,
it is.
But
it's beautiful, though.
It's like I should come down here more often. Like, I should live here.
I should go there forever.
I should just stay there.
Yes.
So, is there anything that you want to talk about? With the gala, but outside of the gala as well, with the organization, anything else that we didn't touch on that you want to share?
I think just with the revamping and some things that we're doing and expanding our program, if you've never thought of volunteering, this is the time, especially if you want to help create and build something new as we expand our vision on some of the education and things like that. This is the time to get involved, because sometimes you can go volunteer at a place and it's, do this and this is what you do and it's the only thing you do, and it's kind of set in its way. This is just a fun time of growth and transition for us. And I think there's a lot of people that have a lot of great ideas and things like that in our community that could be impact players in that. And so I would encourage people to step up and at least check it out. We do volunteer opportunities periodically for people to come in and see all the different parts of the ministry. And I know that will be on our website and coming up in the next probably 4 weeks. And then I would just encourage people to check it out, find what God is calling them to do, and get plugged in, because there's no better place to be is in the center of what He wants you to do. So that to me is the heartbeat of what we're doing. And pray for our families, pray for opportunity, because God has a lot of work for us to do, and He's still calling us to bigger and better things. So.
Absolutely.
Anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, kind of the same thing, where I think a lot of people see a ministry and maybe they're like, well, maybe I'm not qualified, maybe I'm too old to volunteer, or maybe I'm a man and maybe maybe there's not a place for me. But again, why I was drawn to it was the fact that we reach every part of the community, which means we need every part of the community to be team players with us. So we even have, like at Hope House, Friday nights, they do fun, engaging activities. So they're sewing, they're knitting. Don't we have a rocking grandmas group that we have rocking chairs, and we have a baby, so we had our first Hope House baby. No, not that.
Like
no,
a band get together jam
that
session.
Would be like back and forth
back and forth rocking.
Okay.
And those opportunities all the way up to where we have an all-star dads program that we really just walk alongside dads who really desire to want to be a really great healthy dad. And if you're a guy out there, you love Jesus, you want to make an impact, there's a place for you to volunteer there. So don't listen and be like, oh, I'm not sure, or maybe I'm this, or maybe I'm that. No, man, check us out. Go online, see who we are, and trust us. We will find even if you're like, I just do data entry, bam, we got a place for you to serve. So reach out to us. We would love to connect.
But I think for our guys, I mean, like, do you like, like rock climbing or axe?
I thought when you thought rock,
No.
I like rock
you're
music.
Really hung up on that.
But like
I love music.
Axe throwing, disc golf, top golf. They do with the guys. They just hang out with these guys, have fun, and then pour into them to help them know what it means to be a dad and to be a father. So it's a great coaching opportunity for these men, and we've got great men who do that, but there could be more.
That's awesome. That sounds fun too.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like going, how do I get on that program? And they won't let me go.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out today. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
If you want to find out more, you can go to anchorpoint.us and make sure that you check out and get involved with the Celebrating Hope Gala. It's coming up quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys
so much.
Okay, thank you.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.